It's time to start.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Stanley's Stinkers, a unique look at college football where we pick the losers. That's right, the losers. Each week we'll look at 20 of the biggest games, we'll break down the teams, we'll analyze the coaches, and we might even flirt with the cheerleaders. But in the end, we'll predict the losers, or in this case, the stinkers in each of the contests. Stay tuned because this week's games are coming up. Well, the 2013 college football season is upon us, and after an offseason that left us less than entertained, the first week of the season promises to be just what the doctor ordered. For those of you who might be new to Stanley Stinkers, please be advised we use reverse prognostication to predict the losers in college football's biggest games. We finished the 2012 season with just over an 80% success rate, but as of now, we're sporting a perfect season. With that said, here are the games that show up this week on the Stinkometer. The Toledo Rockets at the Florida Gators. During the offseason, Florida quarterback Jeff Driscoll was drafted by a big league baseball team, and he underwent surgery to remove its appendix. Holy Toledo! That's a busy schedule for a junior quarterback who led the Beach Lizards to double-digit wins in 2012. Now that he's had a full season under his belt and plenty of time to improve his game, the swift signal caller should be ready to help Florida challenge for the SEC East title once again. This is but a tune-up in the swamp. Stanley Stinker, Toledo. The Austin Peay Governors at the Tennessee Volunteers. Both of these teams come from the great state of Tennessee, and both teams play football. That's about all they have in common. While APSU has a proud tradition and a beautiful campus, they'll be outmatched when they walk into General Neyland's battlefield on Saturday. New Tennessee coach Butch Jones has been looking for a confidence booster for his riflemen, and this is it. Welcome to the SEC, Coach. Stanley Stinker, Austin Peay. Western Kentucky's Hilltoppers at the Kentucky Wildcats. You can bet that Commonwealth Stadium will be packed for this one, as fans of the Blue Cats are all behind their new head coach Mark Stoops. But Western has a new coach they'd like to show off as well. Bobby Petrino rides into Lexington with his big red machine looking for an upset, and why not? Petrino's been there and done that. This one should be tight, but Stanley Stinker in an upset, Kentucky. Mississippi State's Bulldogs at the Oklahoma Cowboys in Houston. This is the Advocare Kickoff Challenge at Reliance Stadium in Houston, and it features two teams who finished with 8 wins a year ago. Both teams have 7 starters back in offense, so the officials may need some of that Spark energy drink from the sponsors just to keep up. The Bullpups should get a nod in this one based on their conference. The Cowpokes might not believe that bark. Stanley Stinker, Mississippi State. Well, stay tuned, fans. We have a lot more football left to cover, including an upset in Texas, a sneak attack in Florida, and the defending champs in the ATL. That and a whole lot more coming up after this.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper cars, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Stanley Stinkers is brought to you each and every week by CBSSports.com Fan Shop. Now that Christmas is on the way, the sports fan on your list would love to have a jersey or a hat from their favorite team. You'll find that and much, much more at CBSSports.com Fan Shop. Click on the link on our sponsors page for CBSSports.com Fan Shop. By Passion by Eve. The cool weather and the short days mean a lot of time for romance. Guys, don't let the chance to make sparks get away from you. From lotions to potions and things that go buzz in the night. You'll find it all for every relationship. And ladies, if you book your passion party now, you'll qualify for even more rewards and gifts. That's Passion by Eve. Check them out at passionbyeve.com. By 5 Front PR. Mike and the guys at 5 Front PR know how to help any business, like they did with Stanley Stinkers. When it's time to take your business from the forefront all the way to the 5 Front, call 5 Front PR. And by Russell Athletic. Now that hunting season is here, it's time to go camo. Not commando, camo. Check out the latest lines of camo gear from the outdoors to the indoors and everything underneath. Russell Athletic. Check out our sponsors page for the link. And fans, don't forget to like Stanley Stinker's Facebook page for a glimpse inside the Stinkometer every Saturday. We'll have insights and highlights all day long on Stanley Stinker's Facebook page. Tell your friends to meet you there. The Pitt Panthers at the Florida State Seminoles. Well, now that the Black Cats from the Steel City are members of the ACC, they've got a lot to prove. Just like last year, when they tried to prove their worth and almost beat Notre Dame in 3 overtimes. This is a team that plays big when they want to. And with 14 starters back, it's a great chance to scratch out a surprising win. And why not? The River Chiefs lost several coaches and more than half of their starters in the offseason, and they're accustomed to opening games against the likes of Savannah State and Murray State. Watch this one in a Monday night upset, Stanley Stinker, FSU. The Rice Owls at Texas A&M's Aggies. But while the whole college football world is anxiously awaiting Johnny Football's fate, the Hoobirds from Houston are just happy to have a chance to prove their worth in the Lone Star State. Last year, Rice enjoyed the first winning season since 2008, and a win against A&M would be huge, but it probably won't happen. Even without Johnny Autograph, the Aggies could play their infamous 12th man at quarterback and still drive home the cattle. Stanley Stinker, Rice. Washington State's Cougars at the Auburn Tigers. Both of these teams suffered through disappointing seasons in 2012, and the fan base for both schools want an early win to erase the woes. On the Plains, new head coach Gus Malzahn had his striped cats going back to the offense that took them to the national title 3 years ago. Meanwhile, in Pullman, Washington, the coach they call the Pirate, had never had a losing season until last year, and his plea to swing your swords may come at a perfect time against a rebuilding SEC team. An upset in Auburn would be surprising, maybe not, but it probably won't happen. Stanley Stinker in a close one, Washington State. The LSU Tigers and the TCU Horned Frogs in Dallas. This game is the ESPN Kickoff Classic, and it's a classic case of who has more to prove. LSU has been to the top of the mountain, and they've finished high in the polls for a while now. TCU, however, has a lot to prove. They've been winners, but because of their conference, they've not gotten a lot of love from the pollsters. The Toads have everything to gain and nothing to lose, and they should take advantage of the fact that the Bayou Bengal quarterback only plays well in the big games. In an upset, Stanley Stinker, LSU. Georgia's Bulldogs at the Clemson Tigers. There was a time many years ago when these two teams would square off annually for a bloodbath that was often decided by a last-second field goal. This game should not be a replay of those long-ago matches because it won't come down to the last seconds. The Silver Britches may have too many holes in the defense, and quarterback Aaron Murray has never been able to win the important games. Look for Howard's Rock to scatter the dogs early and often. Stanley Stinker, UGA. The Virginia Tech Hokies and the Alabama Crimson Tide in Atlanta. The defending BCS champions will be in the spotlight yet again to open the season, and this time they'll be playing a whole different form of football. VT plays what's called Beamer ball in reference to their often surprising head coach and the fact that the special teams can win close games for the Hokie Birds. If Virginia Tech surprises Alabama early with a fake punt or even an onside kick, this game might be close. But even a close game against a team of Crimson Pachyderms isn't enough this time. Stanley Stinker in a blowout, Virginia Tech. Well, while we're at it, here are a few more games that show up this week on the Stinkometer. UVA will not have a prayer against BYU. Louisiana Lafayette will get bitten by the Arkansas Piggies. Murray State will lose to Missouri. Elon will get stung by Georgia Tech. Buffalo will fall to Ohio State. North Carolina State will get tamed by Louisiana Tech. Temple will be crumbled by Notre Dame. Nichols will get quacked by Oregon. Louisiana Monroe will get run over by Oklahoma. And Troy will fall to the UAB Blazing Dragons. That's it for week number 1 of the 2013 college football season. Stanley Stinkers is intended for entertainment only. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of Stanley stinkers without the expressed written permission of GMD Sports is very appreciated. A free podcast and blog is always available online at www.stanleystinkers.com. You can also follow us in your favorite newspaper or hear us on your number one radio station. Join us again next week as we use reverse prognostication to predict the losers in college football's biggest game.